Hey everyone, it's Carla. I know it's been a minute, but welcome back to my channel. Hi, I'm over here. I wanted to make this accommodation video of things that I am currently doing and let you see a couple that I am in the process of doing. So with each one of my gifts from Etsy, each one of my physical items that are ordered, I give a free gift. And the ones that I'm currently giving are these little wooden gift tags. Now I have taken Sculpey air dry clay and some molds and come up with these wonderful designs that I am just loving. The base of these are just napkins. Let me show you what I got. I found them on Amazon. I should have brought them over. There are 4 different designs printed on one sheet. So as you can see, they are gorge. And that one I kind of took a little bite out of to use. But I also found some nice decoupage paper. You'll see that in a minute. But these are just some ideas. If you want to, you can, and I'm going to paint the backs of these, but if you want to, you can put a to and a from here. Hang a ribbon. That way you can put it on your recipient's tag present, or they can give it as a gift tag. You can put it in with their gift. But this is currently what I'm doing. I just took a little acrylic paint and wiped some of it back, and you'll see me do that here in a minute, and then gilded it. So these are just a few. I like that one because of the snow. I used a darker green on it. These are just a few of the little tags that I'm doing, some of the ideas. This one I love. I took some actual scrapbook paper and took some silver rub buff. I love this stuff. You got to make sure that it's nice and mixed, so be sure and shake it. I wasn't aware of that until I saw it come out all watery today. But this is also a casting from the Sculpey air dry clay. I'm not sure if I like this clay too much. I'm used to using resin, but it seems to be very fragile. I've never worked with anything so fragile in my life. And, oops, there goes part of my set. So what I'm gonna do now, I used, where is it? I just used regular tacky glue to tack these down. And believe me, the tacky glue adheres the air dry clay very, very, very quickly. So it's not very forgiving, and I think that's just because of the chemical makeup of the air dry clay. But this is one of the ornaments that I am currently working on. These forms I got from Amazon. They are 3-inch round, and I liked it because they had the little Christmas topper on there. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is my tacky glue. It's just Scotch regular tacky glue. I am going to glue up the back of this. And you don't have to worry about painting the back of it since you're going to be tacking it down. And I mixed up the acrylic paint myself. If you work with color at all, folks, please do yourself a favor. Let me show you. Get one of these. Sorry, I just hit my wall. Get one of these. Get a color wheel. You will not regret it because we work with color. When I was trying to mix up my green for some of these other pieces that you'll see here in a second, this is one of them, then it told me to add white if I wanted to start with a yellow-green base. If I wanted it darker, you add black. It tells you the difference between tones and shades. On the back of this, talks about complementary colors, split complements, pure color, which we in the art world call hue, because that means it is pure color. There's no tone or shade added to it. There's no black or white. Tint, you add a gray to it. Or maybe I got that backwards. Tint, you add the white tone you add gray, shade you add black. So there are differences in those definitions. I just wanted to go over that, but get a color wheel. They're like $4 at Walmart. So you absolutely can't go wrong with those. So now that we've got this down, I'm not going to do anything else to it except take my metallic gilding paste, which I've used so much you can barely tell. Sorry, I have trouble staying in camera frame. I need to redo my setup because my table is smaller than it was before. So what I'm going to do is just gild this top, gild these edges, and I am going to go all the way around. It's okay if you don't get it perfect. This is a quote shabby chic design. French Baroque. Rachel Aswell in the 80s came up with shabby chic, and now I've heard that they're trying to copyright that term, but judges have turned them down because it's a style and not necessarily a trademark infringement, which is what they were kind of suing for. But so you can see how easy this is, and I'm finished. All I need to do is just add a ribbon, but I love the way that turned out. Here is another piece that I did. This piece I did with a resin casting, but like a year ago. And I wasn't sure what to do with it. So don't throw away your pieces. Remember that video I did on mistakes? Well, this is one of them from the redesign with Prima. I put all of my castings here. All of the ones that I'm not sure what I want to do with yet. Sorry, I hit the camera. But I just put them aside. So save them, because there will come a time when inspiration will hit you and you'll become brilliant and you'll go, oh my gosh, that's it. That's the piece that I need. What I did here was I used a piece of the new decoupage paper, and instead of pulling back, because what I failed to mention was after you glaze it, then you take a wet wipe. This one's got blue on it, but you take a wet wipe and you pull back the color. That leaves the color inside these little crevices so that you've got some depth to it. But it allows for the bumpy surface, the top of the surface, to take the gilding. So that's what I wanted to do here. Mine. Now I'm just going to use a dry finger, kind of lay that in the center. And it adds some background texture, and there you go. And it looks beautiful. I love the way this turned out. I may do more of these, actually. This one I did also with another piece of decoupage paper. And these are air dry, Sculpey air dry. And then it's on the same wooden form. Same plan, just to gild it. But on this one, I'm not going to gild the top because I don't know, I like that green. So I'm going to gild the edges here. And I use a lot of gold because this style that I'm doing is shabby chic / French country. And the elements of shabby chic are the Baroque ornamentation, which is a lot of what you see here. That's a lot of the style that you will see in the redesign with Prima molds are Baroque ornaments, I guess you could say, and distressing. That's what makes up the shabby chic style. That's why if something isn't perfect, like this this bow that I cut out of one of the molds, it's not perfect, but it fits the style. So keep the style in mind when you're designing. How perfect. I'm not going to add a whole lot of background texture to this one just because, let me see if I can pull that back. Sometimes you can pull the, yeah. If you've Mod Podged underneath, then you can sometimes lift that color off if you think you've gotten too much. But I just wanted a hint. So this one is done. Okay. This last one that I want to do, I did air dry clay Sculpey castings of the frame and this beautiful cameo girl. I did cut this piece out of some parchment. So now you get to actually see me do this technique here. And I probably should have used the ink on it after, but I have been doing so many of these at one time that I just didn't notice. So. And then if you want to go around with your Distress and Oxide inks again and just cover that up and age it, that would be perfect. Okay. I don't like these little scribbly shrapnel pieces here. Let's get rid of them. Okay. So I took tea dye, vintage photo, and walnut stain and went over that. I knew that if I used one of my pieces of those beautiful roses in the napkin form or one of the decoupage papers that I got, you weren't going to be able to see it. So what I'm going to do now, first of all, I'm going to gild the top of it because I think part of what I'm doing might cover it, and I just want to be sure. So once again, we're just going over this. It looks like I did go over this with some of the ink previously, so that's good. Oh my gosh. I wasn't on camera at all for that. I'm so sorry, guys. I need to figure out a different setup. What's going on is my stand broke about a month ago, and I've got a piece of it held together with some vice grips. So it's hard to move, and that's why it has to be off to the side to see me do that. Here's my nutmeg. So I'm gonna put just a few drops of that down. And then I can't find my squirt bottle, so I'm just going to drop about that much water into it. And you can make it as thin or as thick as you want. Now I usually use a tiny brush for this, but since this is on camera and I don't want to waste time, I'm going to use a big brush. Alright, so I've got that mixture ready. First of all, I'm going to glue down the frame. And here I am out of frame again. Come on. I think it's about time I order some more tacky glue. Try to get it as symmetrical as possible. As centered as you can. Alright, now Miss Cameo Girl. See, this is one of the pieces from the air dry castings. And actually, I don't think this piece, you know what? It goes to one of the other pieces and I couldn't find it earlier. You just have to be careful if you're using it. I don't know if the DOS air dry clay works any better. If you've had experience with one over the other, please mention it in the comments. Because if it is not as fragile, I follow the Provincial Farmhouse on here, and she works with DOS air dry clay all the time, but she also uses IOD molds, and you need cornstarch with those, according to what she does. When I put this air dry clay into my mold, I didn't need the cornstarch. I don't know if that's just a quirk of this particular clay or if it's the mold, because I noticed, quite by accident and because I'm a scientist by trade, that when I use the Prima Redesign molds, the drying time is different than when I use the resin, the Alumilite Quick-cure, sorry. When I use the Quick-cure resin in other molds, they dry quicker than they do in the, I say dry and it's cure. Nothing dries, it cures. It has to cure from the inside out. So, point is, it takes longer for that resin to cure when I'm using the Prima Redesign molds. And I know that tactily, when I feel one of those Prima molds next to one of the other no-name ones that I've gotten, they do feel different. So I don't know the chemical makeup. I've not looked into it. And of course that stuff fascinates me. But I just know that with the Sculpey, I didn't need any cornstarch for it. Okay, so all I'm doing now is just going over this. I'm trying to get it in all the nooks and crannies. As a matter of fact, I think I want to add, I don't want it so dilute. So I'm going to add some more paint. Just to make it a little thicker. Yeah. I wanted it a little darker in those areas, and that's what we're going to do. Didn't want it up there. I like showing you my mistakes on here because for as long as I've been doing this, I'm not perfect. And I know for newcomers, they get kind of nervous about that. And I like doing videos for people who are new at this. I guess I'm good at teaching. I teach physics and math. So I like showing you guys how to do it. But mistakes are a big part of it. When I was studying to become a stand-up comic, yes, believe it or not, they showed us how to cover mistakes. When I was acting for television, and stage, they showed you how to cover those mistakes so that no one but you or the director would know. All right, so looks pretty bland like that, right? But watch what happens when we pull it back with our wet wipe here. I'm trying to hold this up so you can see it pretty well. All right. All of the top comes off and it leaves all of this beautifully aged brown underneath. That is gorgeous. And this actually is probably all I'm going to do to it. And if you don't like how much you've pulled off, go back and add some more. That's all you need to do. This is a pretty forgiving process. So there we go. Those are the things that I'm working on right now. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Please drop in the comments which one your favorite was. I'm curious about that because I had so many beautiful things here. And I'm so sorry if I got out of camera. I won't know that until I hit the editing room. But let me know if you liked these, and please, if you did and they inspired you, here's one I'm going to be working on in the next video, just so I can show you. A lot of people like black and silver for Christmas, but if I've inspired you, please head to one of my socials and tag me. I would love that. I would love that. So that'll do it for today. Sorry this was longer than normal, but I think we got a lot of good stuff done. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.